We're going to start a new chapter, chapter number 6, physical and chemical changes. In this chapter, we will going to have a look upon certain changes that takes place in our surroundings. And by the end of this chapter, you will be able to label those changes as physical and chemical ones. But today, in today's lesson, we will be concerned only about the physical changes. Foremost, we should have a look upon those changes which takes place in our surroundings. Like there is a change between milk and curdling of milk. Yes, curdling of milk is termed as curd, or that is sour in taste, but milk has a different taste. Rusting of iron is also a change. If we left a piece of iron in an environment which is exposed to sunlight or rain, that piece of iron will develop some reddish brown flakes on it, and that is called rust, and that process is called rusting. So rusting of iron is also a change because that material we have left is quite different, is quite completely different from that material which we find after some days. So that is a change. If we hold a rubber band in our hand and we stretch it, we stretch the rubber band, there is a change in the shape of the rubber band. Yes, this is also a change. Now we will perform some activities. The first activity is we will take a A4 size paper. A4 size paper is having a large size, yes. Now cut this paper into 4 equal sizes. 4 equal sizes squares. Okay? Then cut each square further into 4 square pieces. Finally, we will get 16 pieces from a single A4 size paper. Then lay these pieces of paper on a floor or on the table. Or we will try that this pieces of paper will acquire the shape of the original piece of paper. Piece of paper that we have made should acquire the size of the A4 size paper. We will lay this in that fashion. Okay, so and we can try, but we will not get the A4 size paper again. The shape and sizes of the paper has been changed. So in this activity we have seen that the size of the paper has been lost by cutting it into further pieces. So there is a change in the size of the paper, but we have to note that is the final substance we get is different from the starting one. Is the substance is different? No, substance is not different. Substance still the paper. Yes, substance still the paper. So in this change there is a change in size, but not in the substance originality. Substance maintain its originality. We have started from a paper, and finally if we make a multiple pieces of paper, finally we will have the paper even a stretch will be called as paper. So in this change, there is change in size but not in the originality of the substance. No new substance is formed here. Now take a look at the second example, or we should perform the second activity. That activity is performed by the chalk powder. Collect some chalk powder lying on the floor of your classroom, or make up pieces of a small size chalk, or crush the small size chalk into a powder. Then mix some water to this powder. Then try to make it a paste. After getting paste, you will roll it and try to roll it into the shape of a piece of chalk. After drying, you will get the chalk, but that chalk is somewhat different from the chalk you have made the powder. Yes, and that change is, you will find the change in the shape, and you will find the change in the size of the chalk. Particularly the size will get changed. Now let's perform another activity. Activity 6.3. You can also try this activity at your home. It is so easy. Take out some ice cubes from the freezer and put those ice cubes in a glass tumbler. After 5 minutes, you will find that the ice has melted down. So there is a phase change. Ice is solid and water is liquid. So during the melting of ice, there is phase changed. Phase change from the ice to the water, from the solid to the liquid. So melting of ice is an example of physical change. We are here seeing all the examples of physical change. In a physical change, there is a phase change from either solid to liquid, liquid to gas, gas to solid, gas to liquid. The point you have to remember here is, if we take back the water which we get from ice and put that water into the ice trays and then place those ice trays inside the freezer, then we will get back the ice again after 1 hour. So we have got ice from water here. First, what happened? That when we left out the ice in the glass tumbler, ice has melted down, and when we put that water in the ice trays and put it inside the freezer, we again back the ice. So the phase change is a reversible process. Always remember this thing. Phase change is a reversible process. If we can get the water from ice, we will again regain back the ice from water. In the same way, this is a phase change from solid to liquid. There is phase change also from liquid to gas. When we boil some water in a beaker, in a container, and during boiling, the water in a liquid state changes to vapors. Vapor is a gaseous phase of water. So there is a phase change from liquid to gas. But if we have covered the container with a lid, the lid is having some vapors on it, and we place that lid out of the hot container on a tabletop or on the slab and left the lid of the container for some time, then we find some droplets of water on the lid. Those vapors which have been transformed from the water during boiling and get stick to the lid will again go back to the liquid state during condensation. Do you remember this? That the phase change from the gaseous to the liquid is called condensation. So what we have seen here, that during the change of evaporation is a phase change, and evaporation can be reversed back by condensation. So evaporation to condensation is an irreversible process. So what we have seen here from activity 6.3 and 6.4 is that phase change is an example of physical change. And activity 6.1 and 6.2 is also an example of physical change. So what we can conclude from these four activities is that when there is a change in size, when there is a change in shape, when there is a change in phase is solid, liquid, gases. So when there is a change in a phase of a matter, that change, all these changes are come under the physical changes. All these changes are categorized under the physical changes. There is activity 6.4 also, but now we will conclude all those four activities which we have studied here. So what is a physical change? By all four those activities we can summarize that what is a physical change. What we call the physical change? Physical change is a change in the physical properties of a substance. What are physical properties? Physical properties such as shape, size, color, and state of a substance. State of a substance. State is the phase. State is solid, liquid, or gas. When there is a change in the state of a substance, when there is a change in shape, size, or color of a substance, that change is called physical change. So a change in which a substance undergoes change in its physical properties is called a physical change. And in physical change, no new substance is formed. Yes, in such a change, no new substance is formed. Always remember this. If we have cut down the paper, finally we will get the paper. If we have melted down the ice, we will get the water. Ice is also a form of water. Chemically, ice is also H2O in a freeze form. And when we boil the water, we will get the vapors of water, not of another substance, not of other substance, vapors of the same substance, water. So in such a change, no new substance is formed. Okay? And write down some examples also, like cutting of wood. During cutting of wood, no new substance is formed, just there is a change in the size of wood. Your homework is you have to list down at least 10 physical changes from your surroundings. That's all for today, and tomorrow we'll take the chemical change.